Published 0709 EDT, the 17th of September 2017. Updated 1049 EDT, the 17th of September 2017. A swarm of police officers were seen dragging a man away in what would be the first arrest made under new face covering laws in Victoria. The brutal arrest saw the young man, 24, screaming at officers and growing crowds as police struggled to restrain him outside the State Library in Melbourne. He refused to take the scarf covering his face off, forcing police to remove it themselves. Dressed in all black with a close-shaved mohawk, he wore a scarf that covered his face up to his eyes. Scroll down for video. A 24-year-old man was dramatically arrested in Melbourne on Sunday by a swarm of police. The man, pictured after his unmasking, had refused to remove his face covering. He was part of a large crowd protesting against a Make Victoria Safe Again rally at the State Library. As surrounding media began filming and photographing his arrest and unmasking, he yelled, "All I want to do is be anonymous at a protest. This is not ethical. It is not ethical journalism what you are doing. You are invading my privacy and my right to be here and conceal my identity for my own private reasons," he said. A spokesman for Victoria Police told Daily Mail Australia he will be charged on summons for wearing a face covering. A woman, 27, was also arrested at the protest for yelling at photographers, hitting a photographer's camera and spitting on another. She has been charged with assault. Police can conduct weapon searches and request protesters to remove any facial coverings if they are being used to conceal identities or protect from crowd control measures in a designated zone. He began yelling at the media for being unethical in photographing his arrest after his face was revealed by police. He was one of two people arrested on Sunday, with a 27-year-old woman also being arrested and charged with assault. Police were recently given new powers to unmask and arrest people who were trying to conceal their identities. Dressed in all black with a close-shaved mohawk, the man wore a scarf that covered his face up to his eyes. The man was among huge crowds in Melbourne on Sunday, some protesting racism and fascism at a rally dubbed From Charlottesville to Melbourne Unite to Fight the Far Right, and others attending a Make Victoria Safe Again rally. A post on the protest's Facebook page claims the left-wing protesters outnumbered the fascists 5-1 on the day. Avi Yemeni was behind the initial rally, which was intended to protest against the series of carjackings and home invasions throughout Melbourne. In an address to followers, he said the group were demanding minimum sentencing for violent offenders, no bail for violent offenders, and no early release if you are a violent offender. Time and time again we see violent offenders who get out with sob stories because somehow the criminal is the victim, he said. Our world is upside down. Political correct madness has taken over. Avi Yemeni was behind the initial protest, aimed against a spate of violent carjackings and home invasions in Melbourne. He said violent offenders from other countries should be deported, and there should be stronger sentencing and no bail given to those who were born in Australia. Yemeni also demanded the deportation of violent offenders who had moved to Australia from overseas. If you come to Australia and you are not grateful to be here, your thanks is robbing us and bashing us. You deserve to go back to where you came from, he said. Many protesters who were part of the Safer Victoria rally wore jackets emblazoned with True Blue Crew, Soldiers of Odin, and had the Southern Cross symbol on their clothing. The left-wing rally met at the State Library before marching up towards Parliament House on Spring Street, where Mr. Yemeni's rally was held. When they arrived, the two groups were separated by barricades and dozens of armed police. Mr. Yemeni's rally and the counter-protesters were separated by barricades and dozens of police. Sorry, we are not currently accepting comments on this article.